Thank you for staying tuned. Now we'll begin with some top stories. 13, 13 facilities in the Federal Capital Territory have been sealed off by the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency (NESRA) for failing to abate environmental concerns. Charles Alpha reports.
Yeah. Small. We understand. We are talking gently. Yeah. Gently, we do anything. If you shout,
this is the second time since January this year that the Environmental Law Enforcement Agency 15 facilities were sealed barely 2 months ago. And here, 13 more in both green and brown environments have been shut down for failing to comply with extant environmental standards, impact assessment, environmental management plans, and permits.
The National Environmental Standard Regulation Management has sealed a total of 13 facilities in the Federal Capital for various forms of environmental crimes. We spring into action for those absolutely that are not doing the right thing. We just have to do what we need to do.
Overseeing the operations on behalf of the DG, Professor Aliu Jauro, Director Inspection and Enforcement, Abdul Salam Issa says the inspection became imperative in line with the presidential bond signed by President Bola Tinubu with ministers as a measure for key performance deliverables for 2024.
Because the agency frowned at the high rate of non-compliance of these facilities to environmental laws of the land and promised to replicate the same in all the states of the Federation.
The National Environmental Standards Enforcement and Regulation Agency (NESRA) says those earlier shut down broke down the federal government seal on their facilities and will face punitive measures for their actions. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
From environment to health, prostate cancer has become a present health concern affecting men across Nigeria. Silent threat demands attention and awareness as experts maintain, like other cancers, early detection through regular screening is crucial for effective treatment. Hakimat Aliyu, in this special report, tells us more about this concern.
Prostate cancer, according to experts, is the most common and most deadly cancer for men in Nigeria, with a statistic of about 32.8 cases and 16.3 deaths per 100,000 men.
I know prostate cancer to be a cancer of maybe a small portion of human. I don't actually know too much about prostate cancer.
I'm not too familiar because I've not really had someone that had prostate cancer.
Consultant urologist at the Federal Medical Center, Jabi, Dr. Bioku says prostate cancer has no direct known cause but is peculiar to men of the black race.
The prostate is a male sexual organ that is located at the neck of the bladder. So it's very essential for men in terms of fertility. So as the men age, the prostate increases in size. So, following that increase in size, some of them will come out to be malignant because of several factors. But the cause is largely unknown. So the hormone factor too, testosterone, is a key.
Frequent urination, difficulty starting or stopping urine flow, and blood in the urine are warning signs that should not be ignored, as prostate cancer is treatable when detected early through regular screenings.
There is a possibility of a cure if you detect any cancer early. So prostate cancer is not an exception to that. The treatment likely depends on the stage of the disease. So if the prostate cancer is diagnosed, the first thing is to stage it. So whether it is limited to the prostate itself or it has spread.
While adopting a healthy lifestyle helps to reduce the risk of prostate cancer, regular checkups and awareness remains most important tips to break the silence surrounding prostate cancer. Besides creating awareness on prostate cancer, experts emphasize the need for government and all stakeholders to prioritize men's health through affordable health packages. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
Every community deserves to have a standard healthcare facility in order to help it meet the health needs of its residents. In Yangochi, in Kwale Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, is where a leprosy colony grapples with a dire healthcare situation, but its healthcare facility is yet to have what it needs to function effectively. Wayne Dogo brings us details from the leprosy colony.
Located in Yongoji Kwali is a community of remarkable resilience, the leprosy colony. Residents here live amidst both progress and hardship. Despite the provision of electricity, they have a school and clean water recently donated by a non-governmental organization. Yongoji faces a critical shortage in medical supplies. Our cameras captured the stark reality inside the colony's hospitals. Empty shelves and barren rooms without essential medicine. Residents are left without proper care, exacerbating their already challenging circumstances. The leader in the colony speaks on how the lack of medical supplies impacts the community.
Asibiti tamu ba magani tun zamanin Obasanjo ba wani magani da Eruwa'i.
The hospital does not have medicine. Since the administration of President Olusegun Obasanjo, we have not had proper medical supplies. When I got ill, I had to travel to Niger to receive proper treatment, even as a Nigerian. As the leprosy colony in Yongoji Kwali perseveres, their appeal to restock the hospital with vital medicine remains urgent. In Abuja, Wayne Dogo, NTA News.
It is the second month of the year 2024, precisely the third month to say of the year until the first quarter is a time to preview past achievements and to make projections and set targets for goals to attain before the year ends. Many Nigerians are putting forward new goals and the steps forward to attain them. Kama Kama took up FCT residents on what they intend to achieve in the year 2024.
As we near the end of February, many people are taking stock of their progress towards the ambitious goals they set for themselves at the beginning of the year. We ventured into the streets of Abuja to gauge how well individuals have fared in achieving their targets for the year 2024.
Life is about setting targets and trying to meet up with the challenge. But unfortunately, we find ourselves in a situation where your targets are just not realistic. You can't kill yourself. You have to do what you can do, and then hopefully things get better.
It's interesting to note that some individuals we spoke with have encountered obstacles in maintaining their trajectory toward their ambitions. Many have attributed their struggles to economic instability, which has posed challenges in staying on course with their plans.
It's unfortunate what we are going through, but they say who does not plan have already planned to fail. With nothing, you can still plan.
I believe in divine purpose, number one. Then number two, I believe that whatever government is doing is for man's sakes. And I believe that if God is with them, it will turn out to be good.
As we navigate the streets of Abuja, it's evident that the pursuit of goals in 2024 has not been without its hurdles. Economic factors have, in some instances, hindered the smooth realization of New Year's resolutions. However, amidst these challenges, there are also stories of resilience and determination, with individuals finding creative ways to adapt to the challenging economic landscape. Kama Kama, NTA News.
Malama, Allah ki bani katin bulo na 1000.
Na 1000? Can. To shikenan yanzu nan zaka ga alert. Me yake damun ka? Me aka yi maka kake wannan ihun malam?
Ba dole in ihu ba. Wannan malamar ce na ce ta bani katin bulo na 1000. Ta ce ta sa min katin 10,000. Ta ya zan iya biyan wannan?
Wannan ai garabasa bulo take yi. Idan ka saka 1000 za su rubanya maka shi domin ya koma 10,000. Shi ne muke kira 10 times airtime bonus.
Amma ko abun nan kai mamaki.
Abokina ka kwanta da hankalinka. Kaga wannan 10,000 bulo ne ta baka kyauta. That's what me say. Now 10 times we will give you. 10 times.
Kwarai kuwa kai ma za ka iya samun 10 times airtime bonus idan ka sai kati a layin Glo ɗinka. Sai sabon layin Glo.
Welcome back. Now, out of Allah's mercies to mankind, He ordained the fasting in the month of Ramadan for the Muslim faithful to attain piety. In this special report, our correspondent takes a look at the significance of the Ramadan.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام.
In the consensus and explanations of Islamic scholars, the glorious Quran and Hadith of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, are sufficient on the obligation of the holy month of Ramadan, which they say entails the deliberate abstinence from sexual desires, eating and drinking from dawn to sunset, with the intention to worship Allah, who has promised a special reward for those who fervently fast in the first, second, and last 10 days of the month.
It is a time, a period of submission, devotion, tireless effort to see how you can seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all the endeavors, in various aspects of ibadat. It's a school of increasing taqwa.
Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar, with a spiritual package and a turning point for mankind, who is expected to maximize the enormous bounties, mercy and favors of Allah.
It helps those are in addiction to overcome addiction. Those are in drugs, those are taking smoking. All this one, Ramadan can help. It helps to sharpen somebody's character by being patient.
Leaders of faith say the holy month of Ramadan also guarantees spiritual elevation in status and an ideal social security of love. True.
All right. Thank you for staying tuned with the program Saturday Discourse. And it is time now to discuss on the program. And I have the privilege of having Imam Saliman Suleiman. He is the Imam of Al Wajud Muslim Community Mosque, Kubwa, Abuja. Thank you for joining us on Saturday Discourse.
Thank you for having me.
Jose Ramadan Kareem.
Thank you. I wish you well.
All right. Well, it's already day 6, and where we've successfully got to that number by Allah's grace. Now we're trying to look at what are some of the do's and don'ts that are expected of a fasting Muslim in order to attain that piety that Allah has talked about in the glorious Quran.
Alhamdulillah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this favor. We are in the 6th month of Ramadan, the month of blessing, the month of the Quran, the month of guidance. And coincidentally, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to achieve in the holy month of Ramadan is to attain taqwa. That is piety. We are already far away from Allah. Allah wants to draw us closer. So He wants us to do a lot of things so that we can get His pleasure. So that is the basic objective of it, is to attain taqwa. And for us to attain taqwa, that is why the Ramadan is a month of the Quran, and we need to recite more of the Quran. And not only recite it, we must also reflect on the messages in the Quran. And this is how it can be well impactful. So if we do all this, then we will not be able to see the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then fasting is not just about abstaining from eating or drinking alone, and you must as well guard all the sensitive organs Almighty Allah has given to you, so that you don't just mesmerize around, with them. Especially Rasulullah said, according to Abu Huraira, he said that the Prophet said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need of somebody who is staying from eating or drinking if the person still indulge in, falsehood, for instance. So it means you must have that spiritual elevation so that it touches you. That's why everybody's inclusive, both the poor and the rich. They are all involved in fasting.
Okay, well, if we look at it beyond what you've just said, what are some of those practical, religious practices that we need to engage in? Talking about charity, talking about a special nafilat, how can we up? Because the reward is not just there for you to just take. You must, work towards getting the reward.
Yes, that is correct. Because things that we must struggle, that's what I said, the objective, that's why I said it clearly, it is to move closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because we are already far away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's because of his love. That's why he addressed the believers. Oh, you will believe. It's to the believers. So Allah loves us in what us to. So things that we will struggle for and move closer to Allah is what we engage in. And one of it is to continue. One, do not miss your salah in Jama'ah. You make sure it's achievable. Make sure you solidify it by moving close to Allah and engage in more nawafil. Do tarawih in the night. Also, you wake up for tahajjud with your family. Very good. And you eat together. Anytime you want to eat, you eat together as a family and build up family ties. That is what is expected of us.
Okay, well, one thing that Muslims inadvertently, do during this month, which is not supposed to, is the issue of backbiting. Some people discuss people a lot, not knowing that they are already engaged in backbiting. Talk to us on what the Quran says about backbiting.
Yes, I said earlier that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us some of these sensitive organs. Some of these sensitive organs, we have our mouth, even the tongue, we have also our eyes. These things are to be controlled while fasting. So you are not just fasting, it is not physical alone, but it's also spiritual. So those things, you must guard your utterances. Things that you are not supposed to say. It's a training. It's training for 29 and 30 days. So you are supposed to guard all these sensitive organs. Do not engage in backbiting, because Allah has told us that for those who engage in act of or slandering, such practices, there's punishment to it before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are not supposed to engage in things like that. It is to train us. If we excel under 29 to 30 days, it means outside the month of Ramadan, we are likely to maintain the lesson.
Okay, well, moving forward, we all expectant of, completing this fasting by Allah's grace. Now, in this same month, we talk about Laylatul Qadr. Can you just talk to us about it and how we should be able to be very optimistic to attain that?
Yes, the part is part of the blessings of this month of Ramadan. You can only find Laylatul Qadr in the month of Ramadan. It's part of the blessings. And to start with, we must first and foremost ask Allah, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to count us among those who witness it. That's why you are waking up every day. Don't wait till the last 10. God told us that you look for it in the last 10 days. The odd numbers, in fact, the whole of the last 10 days, that's when you look for Laylatul Qadr. And that's why at that particular, Allah has given even us opportunity for some of us to go for seclusion, itikaf. So that you will not slip up, you will not miss the opportunity. And what are you supposed to do is to ask Allah. Rasul says, Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwan fa'fu. That should be our major, get forgiveness from Allah. Because nobody fasts in the month of Ramadan and you are not forgiven, it means you have not fasted. So it's an opportunity for us to move close to Allah and get our dua, our prayers accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay, well, that's is sounding interesting. But another thing I want us to quickly look at is the issue of the tafsir. It provides us the opportunity to understand the Quran better. So how can we also maximize that aspect of worship by going for tafsir?
Yes, a serious-minded Muslim, before we enter into the month of Ramadan, will have planned, make a plan, draw a checklist, make a schedule of how best do you want to attend tafsir in order for you to understand the Quran. It's a month of the Quran. It is not just when you recite Quran, you only have rewards. It's there, but you need to go more, extra more, by you understanding the messages in the Quran. You can't be like a camel who carry books and does not understand what the book contains.
All right, thank you very much, Imam Saliman Suleiman of Al Wajud Muslim Community Mosque, for coming to enlighten us and educate us as well on the month of Ramadan on Saturday Discourse. I will appreciate your time. I will say, may Allah continue to be with you. We'll find more time to discuss because we need to learn from you more. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, viewer, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll continue. Stay.
Brotherhood.
All right, welcome back. Now, grassroots sports in Nigeria is growing daily, and as this trend is moving to greater heights, Waru Junior Secondary School in the FCT is not left out. Moses Kuye reports that the school held its inter-house sports competition for the junior secondary school.
Waru Junior Secondary School first school competition taking place right here in the Federal Capital Territory, right here in the school premises.
Starting with coordinated march past by various houses, followed by the Gbagi cultural dancers, which added color to the inter-house sports competition. There were displays of different sporting activities, such as 50 meters race by JSS1 boys and girls, 100 meters boys and girls, line and sack race, the principal race, parent race, teachers' race, and choreography. Some of the dignitaries described the sporting event as timely, as this is the first of its kind since the establishment of the school.
There is excitement from the children to have opportunity to participate in this sporting competition. As you know, this is the third year since we established this school.
To improve them in every other extracurriculum activity, since we know it's not only reading alone that can make them to prosper to the future.
The students of Waru Junior Secondary School could not hold back their joy as the relay race got intense. There was also a previous football match, Yellow House and Red House battle for supremacy in the final event, with Yellow House defeating their rival Red House by 2-0 to clinch the cup in the final results of the competition.
They fought well, maybe next time they will fight better.
My first inter-house sport I've ever tried, as a principal, and in the small school like this, and a place like this, and God made everything successful.
We are going to be the winner, and our slangs always be that we are winning, and we'll say yes, of course, and that's the winning of today that we see today.
In Abuja, Moses Kuye, NTA News.
Thank you, Moses. And just before we go, I want to tell you that the Flying Eagles have crashed out of the African Games after losing their third match to Senegal. And currently, Manchester City are leading Newcastle by 2-0, while Fulham takes a lead also by 1-0. This is where Saturday Discourse will put a stop until we come your way, same time, same station next week with another interesting topic. I am Abdullah Hajia. Thank you for being with us.